The African sun does not offer warmth. It offers a slow, calculated execution. Under a sky completely bleached of color by a white-hot glare, the earth cracks open like broken porcelain. This is the parched throat of the savannah, a drying watering hole that has transformed from an oasis into a concrete tomb of gray, viscous clay. In the absolute center of this desolation sits a 2-week-old elephant calf. He is sunken past his knees, his small belly resting heavily against the mud. Every desperate movement of his tiny, wrinkled legs creates a violent suction pocket beneath the surface. The mud acts like a living vice, tightening its grip with every frantic lunge. The heat waves ripple through the atmosphere, distorting the horizon into a wavering mirage. The calf's tail is already locked beneath the drying crust. His skin is rapidly turning into a dry, chalky armor. Exhaustion settles into his small frame. His head drops, his chin resting weakly on the cooling mud. He is completely isolated in a vast, empty empire, sinking lower by the millimeter as the sun bakes the earth around him into solid stone. A shadow breaks the blinding glare. The mother elephant steps to the lip of the pit. Her amber eyes widen in pure, maternal terror as she takes in the depth of the crisis. Her trunk coils violently in the air before snapping skyward, throwing her massive head back. She releases an ear-splitting, agonizing trumpet, a raw, metallic blast of panic that shatters the heavy air and echoes for miles across the plains. She stamps her massive front feet into the dry dirt, sending up blinding clouds of dust that swirl in the volumetric light rays. She flares her ears to their absolute limits, transforming her silhouette into a giant shield of anger and fear. She drops her trunk into the mire, desperately wrapping it around her baby-slick, mud-caked shoulders. But the clay is too greasy. Her grip slips, sliding off his wrinkled skin with a heavy, wet sound. Frustration turns to madness. She violently shakes her head, spraying thick gray sludge into the air. Sensing her failure, the calf lets out a high-pitched, heartbreaking shriek. The margin for survival is disappearing. The thick mud is now creeping up toward the baby's neck. The panic call does not just summon family, it alerts the opportunists. Through the sharp golden blades of dry savanna grass, 2 amber eyes ignite. A massive, battle-scarred male lion lifts his head from a rocky mound, his ears twitching as they lock onto the coordinates of the calf's screams. Low, vibrating growls ripple through the throats of 3 nearby lionesses as they rise from the dirt. They begin their approach, moving with a lethal, calculated grace. Their powerful shoulders rise and fall smoothly as they melt into the low brush, flanking the perimeter of the drying pool. The mother elephant spots the creeping shapes. Her posture shifts instantly from grief to absolute fury. She takes 3 explosive, ground-shaking strides toward the tall grass, letting out a defensive scream that forces the lionesses to scatter backward into the thicket. But it is a calculated retreat. As the mother lunges forward to defend one side, a male lion stalks closer to the exposed rear of the pit. The circle is reforming. The predators are crouching low, their hind legs tensing, muscles rippling under their fur. They are just meters away from the trapped calf, waiting for the exact moment the exhausted mother collapses from the heat. The ground begins to violently vibrate. Tiny pebbles and loose dust jump off the parched earth in rhythmic, terrifying patterns. Over the horizon, a blinding, colossal wall of golden dust explodes into the sky, completely blocking out the setting sun. The cavalry has arrived. An ancient, battle-tested matriarch bursts through the dust storm, her massive, scarred tusks cutting through the air as she lets out a deafening, triumphant roar. Behind her rushes the entire herd, a charging avalanche of muscle, bone, and ancient intelligence. They plow through the brush, snapping large acacia branches like twigs, their heavy footsteps creating a synchronized thunder that shakes the valley. Terrified by the sheer velocity of the stampede, the entire lion pride turns tail, fleeing deep into the safety of the distant rocks. The herd slams to a halt around the perimeter of the pit, instantly locking their massive bodies together to form an unbreakable, living wall of gray hides. The matriarch lowers her trunk, smelling the thick sludge around the calf. She signals the others. 3 large elephants line up at the rim, driving their massive feet into the hardened clay, breaking the concrete seal with crushing force as their trunks begin to shovel away the heavy gray muck. The rescue becomes a battle of raw physical mechanics. The mother elephant drops her powerful trunk into the cleared space, wrapping it firmly and deeply around the baby's upper chest. A second large adult slides its trunk underneath the calf's rear legs, creating a double cradle of pure muscle. Together, the giants lean their immense weight backward. Their front legs lock straight. Their shoulder muscles bulge and strain under the colossal load. The mud fights back, stretching into thick, sticky strands that refuse to release the baby's lower body. A heavy, collective groaning echoes from the lungs of the straining giants as the earth beneath their hind feet begins to crumble and slide into the pit. The matriarch joins the line, adding her unrivaled strength to the pull. One final, agonizing, synchronized heave ripples through the bodies of the family. The vacuum pocket at the bottom of the pit begins to tear. Suddenly, with an explosive, wet sound, the suction breaks completely. The baby elephant is pulled free from the depths, rolling safely onto the solid, dry ground as a huge splash of gray muck sprays across the inner circle. The calf's legs tremble violently as it attempts to find its balance before finally standing upright on all 4 feet. The chaotic noise of the savannah drops into a deep, peaceful silence. The mother elephant steps over her baby, using her trunk to gently brush away the heavy layers of gray clay from his eyes and forehead. Low, vibrating rumbles of reassurance echo through her chest, a soothing frequency that calms the calf's racing heart. Around them, the members of the herd lift their trunks into the warm air, releasing soft, harmonious rumbles of completion, an ancient song of tribal unity. In the far distance, the defeated pride of lions sits motionless in the tall grass, watching the impenetrable wall of giants move away. The family turns towards the setting sun, marching in a slow, majestic line across the golden plains. The baby elephant, completely caked in drying gray mud, walks safely in the dead center of the formation, his small tail wagging happily against the massive, protective back legs of his mother. They move forward as one single, unbreakable organism, bound by an ancient lineage of loyalty saved entirely by the fierce power of family. The equatorial sun does not merely shine upon the Great Rift Valley, it reigns over it with a merciless, pale white malice. Under a sky completely bleached of its azure pigment by a blinding midday glare, the landscape offers no sanctuary. The earth, desperate for moisture, has cracked open in a network of jagged, geometric fissures that resemble broken ancient porcelain. This is the parched throat of the lowlands, a rapidly vanishing watering hole that has crossed the threshold from an indispensable oasis into a treacherous gray labyrinth of highly viscous prehistoric clay. Deep within the epicenter of this topographical trap lies an infant elephant calf, barely 2 weeks into his existence. His small wrinkled legs are sunken far past his knees, burying his soft joints beneath a heavy, suffocating weight. His small round belly rests completely flat against the dense mud, creating a massive surface area suction pocket that anchors him to the spot. Every instinctual, panicked lunge of his tiny body only serves to worsen his predicament. The mud acts as a living, fluid vice. As he pulls one limb upward, an immense vacuum pressure forms beneath it, dragging his other legs even deeper into the mire. The atmospheric heat waves ripple violently across the terrain, bending the distant acacia trees into shimmering, unstable mirages.